like to add some to the answers of Min Kin Kya and Kim Bao Thin, although I need to take care that I am not splitting hairs here. Unconditional consciousness is indeed never mentioned in the early suttas, yet there is a property called unestablished consciousness that is mentioned in the suttas. If a monk abandons passion for the property of consciousness, then owing to the abandonment of passion, the support is cut off, and there is no base for consciousness. Consciousness, thus unestablished, not proliferating, not performing any function, is released. Owing to its release, it is steady. Owing to its steadiness, it is contented. Owing to its contentment, it is not agitated. Not agitated, he the monk is totally unbound right within. He discerns that, birth is ended, the holy life fulfilled, the task done. There is nothing further for this world. As with the other aggregates, means of propagation. We could call this unconditioned consciousness, since while there is no base it has certain properties like stability, contentment and lack of agitation. It however lacks function and is thus called released. The meaning is a bit cleared in another sutta, conducive to the imperturbable. Here we see that consciousness is sustained by notions in meditation, the last one being equanimity. When this notion fades, what remains is something that is mentioned in the sutta Kim Bao Thin mentioned, themeless concentration. What we see here is the marker between a so-called non-returner and an arahant. Both share the same experience, based on the experience of cessation of perception and feeling, themeless concentration. Yet the non-returner will find pleasure in this concentration and the arahant has seen past it. He discerns that this themeless concentration of awareness is fabricated and mentally fashioned. And he discerns that whatever is fabricated and mentally fashioned is inconstant and subject to cessation. This notion cannot rise in the mediation. Such a notion is gross and the meditative state is extremely subtle. The notion is about the thoughts that rise after the meditative state is over. The mind will bend towards the state, ready to enter it again. With that it created a fabrication out of it, something that can be obtained. Memory kicked in, perception at work. And with that the working of the aggregates as mentioned by Min Kin Kya, and the interaction with passion, as the notion that one can claim ownership, aversion, not wanting the current mental state, and ignorance, not seeing how the mind creates an untrue out of the experience, can be clearly seen. With this clinging to the aggregates ends. With this I need to say that looking at the suttas there is indeed a consciousness that is independent of object, without duality. It's the experience of nibbana, themeless, nothingness, and emptiness. Awareness are three different names for nibbana, the greater set of questions and answers. Yet nibbana can be a source of clinging, based on memory, recollection, and anticipation. And here we can see the danger of the mind with passion. It will take that which is without passion and fabricate it into an object as can obtain. The mind itself creates the duality of nibbana and some I that can attain nibbana, even though the experience showed that such an I is not present and nibbana is always present once the aggregates fade away. There is much to say about this, however without actual meditative experience it's only speculation and it's easy to create a mental image of such an experience and try work towards it. That's not how things work in meditation. The same goes for the similarity with primal awareness, as described in Advaita Vedanta. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. And the moment you think either you are creating an object out of the experience. Practice, reach the unconditioned state, watch the movement of the mind returning from this state and learn the working of the mind by experience instead of book knowledge. There is no other way to get a conclusive answer that will truly satisfy you. Yes, it is simply being aware without being aware of something in particular. It is unconditional because it is not conditioned nor limited by the mind. Yes, there is mind, but awareness precedes and is prior to mind, so one is not in or of mind but beyond. What sounds so complicated is actually very simple. Simplicity is the key here. Only the mind asks questions, only the mind wants to understand. But mind can never understand that which is beyond mind. You can only be there, which is here now by being it. I am awake, yet not even awake. Not even I am, just absolute bubbling over silence.